This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, good morning. Welcome back. Today we are going to discuss about IAM and billing. Okay, so in Azure, so we have IAM and billing. So we can work on that today. So with this, we are going to complete Azure. So tomorrow onwards, we'll start working on general sessions, which are ticketing tools, okay, stand-up calls, timesheets, leave management system, like this. So let us start. Yeah. Fine. So identity and access management. Fine. So this we already discussed in AWS and GCP, right? So it is all about user management, right? So can you see my screen, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So this we already covered in AWS and GCP. So which is user management, user creation. So when any user join into the project, how to create user, how to apply the permissions to user, right? So how to modify the permissions, right? Fine. Basically, what is IAM? IAM is a web service. It is a web service that helps you to securely control access to your Azure resources, right? So and also control who is authenticated, means who is signed in, and who is authorized, means who has permissions, right? So in Azure, so we have different layers permissions. Okay, so when any new user join into the project, we have to create the user and we have to apply the permissions to user. We have to add into some groups, right? So and IAM allows you to manage users and their level of access to the Azure console, right? It is used to set users permissions and roles, and it allows you to grant access to the different parts of the Azure platform. Different parts, what are those? Different parts means different services, right? So services level, we can give permissions. So some users will have only VM creation permissions. Some users will have storage activities permissions. Some users will have different activities, VNets, right? Based on his role, based on his experience, based on his approvals, we have to provide the permissions, right? So based on that, we can work on we can give the permissions to the users, right? So with the IAM, organizations can centrally manage users and securely credentials such as access keys and permissions, right? So means what will happen here? So normally organizations can centrally manage users. For example, one user is put down his resignation in the organization, in the project, we put down the paper. So by the time what we will do, we don't directly delete the user. What we will do, first we'll remove the permissions. So whatever access is having, okay. So for example, notice period is 3 months, for example, or 2 months. Last 15 days, what we will do, we'll remove the permissions. So later on, once complete the last working day, after 1 week, we can remove complete user. Otherwise, what will happen? Sometimes they will revoke. In last working day also, they will revoke, right? So by the time, so if you remove that user, again, we have to create user, we have to add into all the groups, we have to configure user, right? So to avoid that normally, so when the person is resigned, okay, so by the time we'll first remove slowly permissions. So later, once last working day is completed, so we'll wait for 1 week. After that, we can remove complete permissions, right? So this is the way normally we can give the permissions, we can apply the permissions to the users, right? Fine. Next one is, yeah. So objects to cover IAM best practices, general security posture, okay, and overview of IAM implementation in Azure. So using IAM to secure operating system access, granting application access to third parties. Okay, we'll see this. And next one, what is IAM? So yeah, principle of least privilege, POLP, authentication, authorization, role-based access, RBAC. Okay, so we'll see this. Okay, IAM means in Azure, these are the things available. Authorization, so authentication, authorization. Okay, principle of least privilege, role-based access control, all these things are available. Next one, Azure IAM, authentication, Azure AD. So here one new role is new tab, new feature is adding in Azure, which is AD. AD means Active Directory. So authorization, assigning roles. So predefined roles, custom roles we can assign here. Okay. So what is the role? I'll show you. Next one, in Azure AD, ways to get it. So Office 365, create a new Azure AD tenant, okay, synchronize on-premise Active Directory to Azure, okay. So we'll see that. Azure account hierarchy. So Azure Enterprise, departments, accounts, subscriptions, resource groups, resources. This is the hierarchy. So while working on the Azure users, right? So we can apply, we can create the user and we can add into groups and we can apply roles, right? Subscription level, resource group level, okay, resources. Okay, these are the things available. Yeah, let us go and create one user and we can work on that. Portal.azure.com. Yeah, fine. Now, if you want to create any users, okay, first we have to go Azure Active Directory. So Active Directory is the feature of Microsoft, right? So normally while working on users, we have to create user from Active Directory, right? So this is the Active Directory tab. So you can go to navigation menu also here, go down here, Azure Active Directory. Click on this. Currently, I'm having some users. Click on users. These are the users available currently, right? So yeah, different users are available. I created different users here. So RAM user, RAM Devops, RAM Devops user 1, different users are available. So for example, if I open this one user here, so click on this user. See here, this is user name, user ID. Okay. So if you want to reset password, revoke sessions, delete user, okay, refresh this. If you want to edit anything, you can use here. These are the tabs available, right? So go down here, see here. So identity, so first name, last name, and principal name, right? Subject ID, user login ID, right? Job information, so IT, department IT, so company name, settings. You can apply, you can edit all these things. If you want to add contact information, you can edit this and you can add whatever you want to add, right? So these are the existing users which are available here. Now I want to create one new user. Go back to users. So I want to create new user. Click on new user. Create new user. Here username, user1, user01 I want to give. So email ID. This is the email ID I can use. Okay. And the name, you can give the name user01, same name. First name user01, last name I can give Devops user, something. Okay. Next, password. So auto-generated password you can select, or else let me create the password. So now you can give custom password here. You can give custom password. Okay, strong password you have to give. Next one is the groups. If you want to add any group, if you want to add this user into any group, you can add. Okay, or else you can leave. Later also you can add. So roles also you can assign later. Okay, settings, block sign in. If you want to click on S, if you want to block sign in, you can click on S. And usage location. Okay, nothing is there. You can keep as is. Job information, job title, you can give something. Okay, department, something you can give. Company name, something you can give. Okay, so create the user. So click on create user. Create this. So user is creating now. Yeah, user is created here. Right, user one is created. So now once we create this user, open this user, so you can check these details. Yeah. Now I want to assign some roles to this user. I want to assign some roles, some different roles I want to assign. So for which, click on assigned roles. Click on assigned roles. Okay. Search here user 01. User 01 already there, right? No need to give here. So add assignments. User 1 already we opened. Add assignments. Click on this add assignments. Now these are the roles, different roles. Application administrator, application developer, attack, payload author. Okay. So still we have billing administrator, cloud device administrator, right? So directory writers, different roles are available, right? Password administrator, password authenticator, printer administrator, security operator, security administrator, user administrator. So different roles are there. I want to give some roles here. Windows Update Deployment Administrator, something. Teams Administrator, Application Administrator. Something I want to apply. Click on Add. Now go to Users. So this is the user, right? We have applied some permissions. Open this user, right? So assigned roles, see here. These are the roles which we assign to user, right? So application administrator, application developer, teams administrator, user administrator, Windows update, deployment user, deployment management, different things we can apply, okay? Now this user can perform these activities, right? So now if you want to add into this groups, if you have any groups, for example, in real time, normally we use some groups. If you want to create any group, click on group, nothing is there, groups, add memberships, click on memberships, okay? Search, select groups, or else you can create groups, okay? Different things you can perform. You can create some groups and you can assign to, you can add that user into groups, right? So we don't require this here, fine. So currently the user is having some roles here, right? Now, so I want to switch this user. Currently I am using different user, Devops tools 239. This is the user. Now I want to switch to this user. So for which first I require this login ID. This is the login ID. We have to save this first, copy this, and we can switch to user. How to switch user? I'll show you. Also, while switching to user, it will ask you Microsoft Authenticator. Without Microsoft Authenticator, we cannot log in into the user. We cannot log in as a user, right? So we require Microsoft Authenticator. In real-time projects, we'll have some authenticator. QR code will be available, right? We have to download some application in the mobile and we have to configure that. So that authenticator we have to apply here. Then only you can able to connect as a user. I'll show you that. We can't connect, we can't switch here. Okay, I'll show you. Fine. Now I want to log in as a user. It will not allow you to log in. We require Microsoft Authenticator, right? So sign in with different accounts. Click on this. Now we can give another user account. This is the user account which we created now. Click on next. Password. Whatever password you give, you have to apply that. You can give the password. Click on sign in. Current password it is asking. It is asking current password you have to give. Now you can give a new password. Click on sign in. Now click on next. See here. Skip for this 14 day. Okay. Use different. Okay. Click on next. Now it will ask you some authenticator. So we'll show you that. See here. Microsoft Authenticator. Start by getting the app. So we have to download some app in our mobile and we have to configure and we have to show the QR code also. Okay. So normally while connecting VPN, we'll get some mobile pass, right? While connecting VPN, for example, from my laptop, I want to connect my office network. So by the time it will show you some authenticator. That is mobile authenticator, right? So the same way here we have to give in Microsoft account, we have to give authenticator. So if you click on next, it will show you QR code. Click on next here. See here. So scan the QR code. We have to scan this QR code, then only we are able to log in as a user, right? So Microsoft is having some extra layers. Microsoft is maintaining extra layers for protect the applications, right? So once we scan this QR code, then only we can able to log in into our console, right? So I'm using partial licensing partial licensing, not full licensing. I'm using, subscription is a partial subscription. That is why, so I cannot log in into the system. Okay, normally, so if you have full licensing, so we'll get some authenticator and application to be configured on your mobile. Okay, so this is the way normally we can switch to user while working on real projects. So the same way we have to log in. Once we log in into the user, as a user, once login into that, we'll get the same dashboard. Now I log in as a root user. So this is the dashboard, same dashboard we get once login as a user. Okay. So we can, as per the permissions, as per the roles, we can perform the activities. Right. Now, next one, billing also we can cover today. So on IAM, any questions, anyone? In AWS, GCP, we already covered the same concept here also, but small changes. QR code required. QR code authenticator required. Right? Next one. Billing also we can cover today. Okay, cost management. So which is also important. So as a DevOps engineer, we have to monitor the billing also. If you are a senior DevOps engineer, so we have to handle the billing, right? So here we have one tab which is cost management. Click on this. See here. This is last billed amount. Latest, last, not latest, later, not last, latest billed. This is the due date to clear the bill. Okay. Click on this subscription. See here, subscription ID, directory name, my role, right? Different things are there. Current bill period, this is a period, subscription name. These are the things available, right? Now, so if you want to check activity log, you can check like this, logs, whatever logs are there, and access control, IAM, okay? You can check this. Yeah, next one, tags. If you want to modify the tags, you can modify. Diagnose, solve problems, basic issues you can solve using these tabs. Security. Okay, so these are the security resources. Can, cloud security, posture management, cloud workload protection for machines like this. You can go through this. Right, different things are there. Next one is click on cost management. Yeah. So now in cost management, we have cost analysis, cost alerts. Okay. So budgets, invoices, payment methods, different things are there. So let us go through one by one. Cost analysis. Yeah. See here, this is the cost trend. Okay. So every day cost trend like this. Fine. So the trend is like this. So coming 6 months, how the cost would be, you can understand using this trend. Okay. So cost trend is like this. See here, August 10th, 12th, the trend is like this. Same trend it is moving, right? So there is no changes every, it is moving like the same trend. Fine. So cost trend is this one, and Service name, what are the services we are using here? Backup service, storage service, virtualization, virtual machines, bandwidth, virtual network. So yeah, these are the things available. Yeah, in real time, what are the errors we get in billing, right? You're asking. So in billing, normally we put some threshold. Okay, based on the threshold, the alerts will be triggered. We'll get notified through emails. Okay. So by the time, so when we get notified, so we have to verify the accounts. We have to go through the accounts. So how the billing? What is the threshold? How much billing happening? Okay. So for example, trying to give some budget, right? So based on that budget, we have to utilize the resources. For example, 1 year budget. 1 year budget is 10,000 rupees, for example. Okay, within that 1 year, we have to control the budget. So within the 6 months, it should not cross the 50%. So within 6 months, if it is crossing 50%, coming 6 months, we cannot handle properly. We cannot handle, cannot manage. That is why, so we have to control the budget every time. We have to monitor, put the threshold, we get notified through emails. So based on that, we have to check and we have to control the budget. Okay. Not only billing in general, yeah. So we'll see that. So what are the issues we'll get? So we have one session. Okay, that we'll see that. Okay, don't worry. So normally, so while working on any platform, okay. So issues means normally while working on compute resources. So server reboot issues, slowdown issues, okay, hang issues. So while creating snapshots, okay, snapshot issues, sometimes it will not allow you to create, okay, snapshot issues, storage issues, expansion, storage expansion. So like this, okay. So while creating instance, while working on instances, so instance reboot issues and hang issues, right? So why we get that? Because sometimes patches, monthly patches will be released by Microsoft, right? For Windows machines. For Linux machines, so patching will be there, but we don't reboot frequently, right? So if you install any patches or if you modify anything, we'll get some issues, reboot issues, right? So for which we have to take snapshots before performing any activities. We have to revert the snapshots. Revert means we'll bring back to original state, right? Also, we'll maintain some backups. So we'll see that. We'll have one session. In that, we'll definitely discuss about that. Day-to-day activities, one session is there. In that, we'll discuss. Okay, fine. Next one is, this is the cost analysis. Cost alerts. If you want to create any alerting system, costing alerts, you can create. Budgets. So budgets also you can create. Okay, budgets means like thresholds we can create here. Same as GCP. In GCP also we created budget, right? The same way, click on add here. Name, we can give billing. So reset period, billing month or year we can give. So creation date, so we can use August 2021 to 2022 August. We can give this. Okay. Budget amount, we can give 10,000 rupees, for example. Click on next. See here, alert conditions, threshold we have to give here. Select type, actual percentage, 50% we can give. 50% means 5,000. Second one also you can give 80%, 8,000. Third one also you can give 90%, 9,000. Like this you can give the percentage. So here at least we have to give one email address. Some group ID we have to provide. Devops. Something we have to give group name. Okay. Now when it is reaches 50%, we'll get notified through email. When it reaches 80%, we'll get notified through email. When it reaches 90%, we'll get one notification, right? So like this we have to create, and language, default language you can use. Click on create this budget, right? Click on create. Yeah. So this is billing budget, billing. Okay. So we create one budget here. So based on this threshold and budget, so we'll get the alerts. So we have to maintain this as per the alerts. We have to start working on this. So in last quarter we performed this activity. Okay. So which is nothing but cost optimization. So cost optimization means the budget control, how to optimize this budget. So all these things. Okay. So cost optimization, when we perform this activity, by the time we have to check all the unnecessary storages, available storages, and elastic IPs, unnecessary elastic IPs, and also we have to clean up unnecessary snapshots, right? Unnecessary VMs, whatever the resources we are having inside of the console, that we have to check and we have to clean up that. In the cost optimization activity, so we have to clean up all the unnecessary resources to cut off the budget. So normally in real time, what will happen? So DevOps engineers and some build and release engineers, they will create some test labs, and they don't delete that. They keep as is. They don't, even though they don't shut down that VMs. Okay. So by the time what will happen? Automatically the billing will be generated, even though elastic IPs. So when they create any elastic IPs, they don't remove that. They don't release elastic IPs. Also storages. Storages means so volumes, storage volumes they create and they will not remove, right? So in this case, normally billing will be happen. So we have to provide the justification to client, right? So as a DevOps engineer, we have to maintain the client accounts, right? So in last quarter, I have I delegated this activity to some resources, right? So in that time, we recovered 6 TB data, 6 TB storage, unnecessary storage, 6 TB we removed. 6 TB means use costing, right? Costing is use costing, right? So we recovered 16 TB storage. Also, 45 elastic IPs we removed, unnecessary elastic IPs. Also, some servers. So for test labs, the team members created and they're using. Even though they are not shut down the servers. So those type of servers we removed nearly 32 servers. Use amount, right? So our duty as a senior engineer or architect, so we have to recover whatever unnecessary resources are available. We have to reduce the billing, right? We have to monitor every time, right? So we have to check and we have to monitor this. Right? So we have to always, every month we'll have some cleanup activities, which is nothing but cost optimization activity. By the time we have to check all these things, we have to monitor and we have to remove unnecessary resources. So we have to check with the client. For example, before getting the client confirmation, we should not remove that resources. First, we have to generate some report. Okay, in that we'll get all the information, unnecessary resources. So after that, we have to send some emails to clients, project clients. We have to get the confirmation. So these elastic IAMs are created already. So hope you are not using. Can you please confirm? Could you please confirm for removal? That we have to get approval. Also, test servers, test labs, you have to get approval from the client. Also, storages, available storages, we have to get the approval from the client. So once we get confirmation from the client, then we can clean up the resources. Okay. These are the budgets, advisor recommendations, some recommendations, feedbacks, recommendations, download PDF, PDF formats, CSV formats, invoices. If you want to check invoices, see here, these are the invoices. I already paid this, right? So whatever invoice you require, you can select that and you can download that invoice. You can save that. Click on download, it will be downloaded and you can save that. Next one is payment methods. Auto payment or different methods will be there. See here, payment method is, this is my primary account. So auto debit, this is auto debit. If you click on this, this is the card which I mapped here. Okay. So it is auto debit. By default, auto debit configured in Azure. In AWS, it will not auto debit, but in Azure, it is auto debit account will be created. Next one is Azure subscription. Azure subscriptions. So these are the, this is my primary subscription. Reservations, subscription. If you open a subscription, we'll get all the information about this. This is pay as you go. Okay, so don't create pay as you go. If you create this, every month bill will be generated. Bill will be happen automatically. Debits will be happen from your account. Okay, don't create this pay as you go. You can use retail. Yeah, in this subscription, we have some usage quotas. One option is there, right? Usage, it will show you. Policies, you can get some policies here if you want to create any policy. Assign policies, budget policies, okay, subscription policies. Events, if any events you want to configure, you can configure for this subscription. Events means logs, compliance. Yeah. Next one is, so if you want to create any support request for this billing, for example, unnecessary billing happened for this account. Okay. If you want to create any support request from here, you can create new support request. You need to provide summary, issue type, subscription, okay, problem type. You have to give all these things and click on next, okay, and you can give the full details. After that, review and create. So we can review and create this. So that once we create this request, support request will go to Microsoft. They will check it out. If any unnecessary bill happened, for example, they will revert back that. Okay, we have to talk to them. They will revert back. If any unnecessary bill means, unnecessary means why it will happen. Sometimes what will happen? So we create one server, but 2 servers they charge. Okay, so that is we can say billing jump. Billing jump means sometimes it will happen that year-ends, once in a year, twice in a year, sometimes it will be happen. So by the time we can check it out and we can talk to them. And also while working on test labs, okay, so if any bill generated, we can request them like, so we are using test lab only, we are not using for any business. So could you please revert? So that they will revert. So even the pay as you go, sometimes what will happen? So this bill, if you forgot anything, resources, for example, you created some resources and you forgot something. Okay. So if you raise a case with them to request them to give some discounts, they will give some discounts. If it is business account, they don't give. If it is for testing or student account, definitely they will give some discounts. Okay, so you can create this request and you can ask them to revert that. Sometimes they will revert that account billing. Okay, this is billing. So if you are a senior DevOps here, you have to monitor this and you have to cut the bills. Budget we have to cut off. Right? Yeah. With this we are completing Azure. So tomorrow we'll work on ticketing tools. What is ticketing tool? What is ITL process? Okay, where we follow that. What are the things available? So we'll work on that tomorrow. Day after tomorrow, we'll work on leave management system and time card entries and different things. Okay, and after that we have roles and responsibilities. One session will be there, so that we can cover on Thursday. Okay, so after that Saturday we'll work on first project. Sunday we'll work on second project. Okay, so maximum Sunday. By Sunday we are going to complete. So I'll provide you some resumes and I can prepare resume to you. You can prepare your resume and send it to me. Okay, I'll review and I'll add some masala in that and I'll revert to you. Okay, so I'll add some new things like whatever extra things required. So based on that current trends, okay, I'll add it and I'll revert back to you so that you can apply. So currently market is very good. DevOps market is good. So many openings I'm seeing currently. If you go and check in LinkedIn, Naukri, Times Jobs, you get plenty of openings. So this is the right time to grab. Okay, you can start applying. So once complete the first project, you can start, because in first project, so we'll work on end-to-end CI/CD. End-to-end will configure and we'll work on that. It will take 2 hours session, Saturday. Okay, once complete that, you can start applying the jobs. Meanwhile, you can prepare your resume and send it to me. I'll review and I'll add something and I'll revert back to you. Fine. Any questions, anyone?
Sir, actually, in few concepts are doubts, sir. Can we section
Yeah. Which session and which topic you have doubt?
like Terraforms?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll
Terraform.
see. You can post in, you can ping me. Okay. So what is the issue? What is the doubt? definitely we'll connect and I'll clear that out. Okay.
Okay.
Whatever doubts you have, you just take down and you can post it to me one-to-one. I'll give you solution. Okay.
Yes.
Others also, if you have any questions and doubts, you can post it to me. Definitely I'll clear the doubts. Fine. Yeah, so we stop here for today. So tomorrow we'll work on general session. Tomorrow, day after 3 days maximum, we'll have general sessions. So after that, we'll move to projects. Fine. Yeah, thank you all.